Hi everybody, Martin the Flickering Feathers again today, and I'm continuing with the bass bug series. In this one I'm just going to tie another spun bug, but I'm going to show you how to fit the legs and put a hard flat face on the front. So it'll be rubber legged kind of popper, but relatively straightforward, and then this will be the last spun bug in the series, because each one I've focused on a wee bit of a different technique. So I've got a hook and a vise. This is a full and mill streamer stripper, size 1. I've already just fitted a weed guard at the back there. This is £20 mason, hard nylon. Right, I'll just to give you, if you're not sure, I'll give you an idea. You would feed it through, you'll see later. You need to have enough to come through. Right, you don't want it too long. You can, even if you want to, before you tie the fly, you can sort of pinch. Right, so you can see a length. I mean, I like it quite as close to the hook as I can go without interfering. Big loops, no good, right? But so I've just tied that on, just in front of the barb, the point, sorry, and that's going to be sort of the length of where the tail and everything is. So first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to take some bucktail from the base of the tail. Not too much, just a wee bunch. And I've got a couple of really long hairs in there, so I'll just take them out and sort of realign them a bit. Still got one or two. I don't want it like a paintbrush, I'm not going to stack it, but relatively sort of uniform bunch, and I'll let that be, say, a hook length off the back. Right, and I don't want anything to go forward of the tie-in for the weed guard. Use the big scissors for this. Trim away the waste. And you can use anything you like, really, right? It doesn't need to be bucktail, it can be squirrel or rabbit or marabou, a couple of feathers. But I like the bucktail, it's gives a wee bit of buoyancy, even though you know, like the back of the hook will pull it down subsurface, but this will sort of kind of float upwards. We're going to put a couple of legs either side. I'll go for yellow. This is just round rubber. Take off a big strip, and I'll let them be longer by about half than the bucktail. Okay, big long length here, so sort of get them away a wee bit, but that's fine. Take this back, trim them even. I'll give it four legs at the back. Just tidy that up. And then I've got a hackle just to tidy up this transition. And a hackle, obviously, I'm just using, this is just a Chinese, you can use like a white and streamer or something like that. Well, American rooster, I mean, like a streamer neck, something kind of not too stiff. Decent bit of length. I'm going to tie it in by the tip. And wind this, I'm just going to fold it as I go. I'm just going to give me a nice sort of transition from the spun bug the spun body of the bug, I should say. Just go back if it's no sitting. Into the tail of the skirt, whatever you want to call it. So when I get to the front there, I'll just catch that off nice and tight. And I'll just clean everything up. Right, now I've already got thread on the shank. I said in other videos, especially using GSP, you can definitely spin on a dress shank. And I'll separate these legs later. Right. Now, from here I could just go straight into the bug, but I think I will put a wee bit of deer hair tips as well. So I'll just get my stacker. Don't need a huge stacker for this. And we're just going to take a bunch of the same yellow deer hair. As always, got to comb it out, clean out all the rubbish. Put it in my stacker. Get a wee flick to take away, hold the tips, get a wee flick, take away any sort of broken fibres or anything that are in there. Any that are big and long, remove them. Then we'll just set this, I'll make it so it's shorter than the hackle, but it will give me a nice clean guide. 2 turns, as before, into the third, let it spin, just pull it tight. Nice and tight, you can come in. Shorten up your thread, get right in there and pull back. And then, as always, I'm going to come in with my packer, force that back as hard as I can. Another 2 or 3 turns in there, and a half hitch. Right, it's all about building durability into the bug. Take a couple of open turns forward. Oops. Wee blob of liquid fusion in there. Just helps hold everything together. And then I'm going to just carry on. I don't need to stack anything at this stage anymore. I'm just going to take my bunches of hair, clean out the rubbish. If you find there's quite a lot under fur, you can sort of open it, rolling your fingers back and forward, so that the comb gets through a couple of bits. Couple of different bits, and then trim away the tips. Shorten up my thread, come in the middle, 1, 2, then round my third and let it go and pull, and I'll stop moving. You're happy, that's fine. Pull everything back, bring the thread to the front. And you can see the front edge of this is nice and straight because I'm keeping my thread turned straight. Right, same again, push that back, really push it back. Again, I'll shorten my working thread, I'll get it right in close. And a wee half hitch. So I've got a nice straight face, right, because I'm keeping my thread wrapped straight and I'm making sure that the hair is rotating evenly around the shank, right. If I turn that, you can see, I mean, there's a bit of kind of, it's not a perfect straight line, but it's straight, right. It's no, you know, there's a wee bit of flare in the, as the hair's been pushed forward slightly by the stuff behind, but that front edge is straight. And this is what you need if you've got to put stripes in, right, straight edge. So I'm going to, at this stage, put a wee black band in this, just in the middle, and then I'll put a red face. But it's just the same thing, right? You're not doing anything different, you're just changing the colour basically, right? Now, I want my black stripe to be thinner, so I've got a thinner bunch of hair. We'll see what it looks like when I put it in. I want it to be thick enough that it's apparently visible, you know, obvious and clear, but I also don't want it to be huge. And just another wee blob of that liquid fusion. Take my thread forward a couple of turns, get it in. One. Don't catch that stuff from in front. Try that again. No. 1, 2, into the third. Just spin and pull. See what you've got. Now I've trapped one single yellow hair in there. I can see him. That's it. You can put it later if it really bothers you, if you still see it. Oops. Right, and then same as before, I'm going to come in with my packer. Right, so I think I've got the right amount of black hair, but I want to squeeze it down, make it thinner. And make sure it's even all the way around. If it's no, which this actually isn't, I'm just going to force it and to turn a wee bit more with my fingers, which you can always do when you're spinning. Right, you can always get that wee bit extra, and then I'll come in with my short working thread and work it, and then I've got a nice thin wee stripe there, wee black stripe. Kind of half tempted to make that a wee bit thicker. Just borderline, just a bit more. I mean, it's up to yourself, right? You could just say that's fine and leave it, but I just to my eye, I mean, the fish do not care at all. It's another very wee short bunch. I'm not going to bother with any liquid fusion between these two because they're so small. When I put this next one in, I'll catch it. Into my third wrap. Pull. Tighten that up. Aye, that's better. It was just a shade too thin for me. I just wanted it a wee bit bigger, and then I'll put a bulky bit of red in the front. Again, just try to make sure you're the same kind of depth all the way around. Wraps in front. You see how that slipped there? That, if that was a brassy, I'd have probably had the hook in my finger. That's just why I say the fugly packer is the way to go. But again, I've got a nice straight front. I'm just going to put a wee half hitch in and pull backwards. And again, got to come in with my liquid fusion, and then I'll probably get 2 decent sized bunches of the red here. This red here I've got, it's lovely and coarse. We'll give me a nice spun bug. Right, I mean, it's still always the same, right? You're just making sure you've got straight faces by keeping your thread nice and perpendicular to the hook shank, keeping your thread turns basically straight, right? If your thread turns are diagonal, it will spin at an angle, right? Very occasionally, like I had with that black one, you'll need to twist it slightly, just maybe it's not distributed perfectly, but that's fine, right? Like, as long as you spot it and you can fix it before you go forward, that's what we're looking for. One, two, three. Right, I'm on my third now. Before I tighten this, I can actually see I've got a black hair coat there, so I'm going to just take it out of my dubbing needle before I spin. This will just save me any hassle later, if I can get it. If I can't get it, I'll just need to pinch it out later. Right, anyway, in at my third turn, spin that. Spun dead easy, see? A few turns through it. Push it back with my fingers so that I can get in, first of all. Not bad. Again, I'll come in with my short thread, even up at the front here. Push it back. Get yourself that extra space. With a big half hitch tool and push it right in, so that half hitch is right in there, pulling backwards, locking everything in. Now I'm not going to put, again with this next bunch, I'm not going to put any liquid fusion, because what I'm going to have is, what I'm going to have is the face will be saturated to make a hard face on the popper. Which, to be honest, it's no. I don't fish deer hair bugs with hard faces that much. I think you're better if you want a hard sound, you might as well just use foam. To me, the beauty of the deer hair is that it makes like that kind of slightly different sound. It's like a soft, I don't know, softer, burbly. And you know, it just sort of breathes and moves different when you fish it. Like the whole bug, although this has got a bit dense body, there's sort of a translucence and life about the deer hair body, and it certainly makes a different sound on the water than a hard bug does, balsa or whatever. So I don't really know. I know people do this. People ask me to do it for them, and they like it. But like, to me, I don't know. It's not really for my fishing anyway. I prefer my deer hair bugs to be relatively free from external adhesive, you know. But that's just me. That's just my preference. Right. Press, that's fine. Put another half hitch in. Oops. Two. Put that back nice and tight. There we go, right. So I'll just trim this up pretty quick. Take a new blade. I'm not too fussed about getting the perfect shape at this stage. I'm just trying to get it close for you guys to see. Because that's basically what we need to do anyway. I need to finish the face before I finish the trim. So as always, first cut along the bottom. Nice and tight to the, as tight as I can get it to the hook shank without cutting the thread. Get a nice tight base on it. Now, as I say, because I'm going to be putting that, doing the face and then finishing the shape, I'm just going to come in and do the square cut. Right, so I've got like this. Doing the sides, I've got fairly even. It's no super crucial at this stage. Nice straight. Now I will sort of round the top of it. And then I can sort of come in at the back, put a rough shape. If I feel like I'm uneven, I'm looking from above and I'm just shaving along. And as I said in other videos, there's, as long as it's even in shape, more or less, right, and it's not going to spin and twist on the cast, that's good enough, right, for fishing. How neat you make these and how much you trim them is entirely up to you. Right, so look at this so far. Now if you look at the bottom, you can see I've not got the shape that I want, which is fine. I can come in, I want to get it roughly where I want to be, top and bottom, or top to bottom. I'm going for a, obviously sort of high-sided bug here. So when I get my general shape, that will do. And I mean, I would say this is trimmed more than enough for fishing, but I will tidy it up before I complete the fly. So got a bit of baking parchment, greaseproof paper, cut yourself a square of it, it's plenty big enough, and then get one of your plastic holders. That's fine, just make sure that you get one that's big enough. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to come in with my liquid fusion, and saturate the front. Right, and it looks like a mess, but that's nothing to worry about. Just use my razor to put a wee nick in the paper and push the eye through, and then I'll take my hard plastic mould, press it in and turn it. Right, and that's it. Like it's held on quite firmly, and basically I'll leave that to dry. Now if you're not super confident, you can put a needle through it or something like that, you know, but you really don't need to. But a stainless shank or something would also work fine. And you just leave that to dry overnight, then we'll come back and finish the fly later. Alright, so that's us so far. Okay everybody, so it's the next day, and I'm just going to turn and remove my plastic and the paper, just pull it off, and then you're left with this kind of mess, which is why obviously you don't do your final trim right away on these, because you need to cut this off. So I mean, I'm just going to come in with my scissors first of all, knock the worst of it away. And as I say, this, I mean, it's not something that I really do on my own fishing flies, because if I'm using a hairbug I don't really want a hard face, but a lot of people do like it. So I'm just going to get my razor blade again. Right, the scissors are fine just to put that sort of first rough jawbone, taking the face away. But I want to make sure that the whole thing's flat on the bottom. And no squint. Just take your time, be careful. And then, just much like before, I'm just going to sort of tidy it. Take the bent blade and put a line on the liquid fusion with it, and then I can just follow that on the front edge. Right, so I just pressed it in, that gave me a line to follow. Which means if I hold it like that, you can see, if I hold it like that, you can probably see I've got a nice clean line on the plastic, but I still need to trim above it, need to tidy that up. But that's my shape, more or less. Just make sure the sides are even. And then all you need to do is just sort of cut back from the front face. I don't want to cut any more of the front face. And it might sort of fight you a wee bit with the stuff that's got liquid fusion in, but just keep working at it. And I'll bend that blade again, and I'll just help my shape along. At the back. I mean, you can cut, you can trim and trim and trim. That's not bad. That'll do, right, for a hairbug. Now, my back leg's separated in between there, so that's fine. And then you can see, right, I've got a right hard, flat face on this popper. It's going to pop. It's not going to be a quiet burble on this one with this face, right? It's really going to catch the water. Right, the last thing to do is to fit my weed guard. I've got a red face on here, so you can either use a red thread or you can just use the same stuff as before and hit it with a red pen, or you can just leave it white or whatever, doesn't really matter. So we'll just start the same GSP. There's plenty of space here for this because obviously the put the liquid fusion on and the bit of plastic it's compressed it. So, same as I like to usually do, feed this through, check my length, and I'll just pinch it. It's now getting nice and tight. And I'll whip finish before I even trim anything. I'll just come in, trim that. The raggy bits of thread there can get trimmed. Get a red pen. Just go the way around. I mean, you could just leave it, the fish would not care one bit. And that's pretty good at that. Drop of cement and your fly's done. Right, you've got a nice flat faced bass bug tied with hair. Now, you can try this technique, see what you think of it. As I've said, it's not something necessarily my preference, but certainly a lot of folk like it. You know, if you believe in like the mouth feel of the bass bug with hair or whatever, but you still want the hard popper, then this is a way to achieve that hard face in the front to get a right good bloop. So, hope you enjoyed that, hope it was useful. So the next ones we'll be starting on stacking, and then maybe adding legs and things as well through the body. So hope that was useful, hope you enjoyed it. If you did, remember to give me a thumbs up below, and I'll see you for another one. Tight lines guys, bye.